Colombia's Supreme Court has issued a controversial ruling absolving retired Colonel Plazas, who was sentenced to 30 years in prison for the forced disappearance of two people during the 1985 event known as the Palace of Justice siege. Our correspondent Natalia Margarita now explains from Bogota.
After a 30-year struggle for truth and justice, relatives of the disappeared were visibly disturbed to know that the Supreme Court, arguing a lack of physical evidence, acquitted and ordered the release of Colonel Plazas Vegas, who commanded the retake of the Palace of Justice from the now-gone M19 guerrillas, an operation in which 11 people were forcibly disappeared.
It is a clear affront to the victims, to us, the relatives of the disappeared, and to the lawyers, an affront to the truth and to all the memory that we have constructed over the course of time, because it feels like they also disappeared everything we have done.
In 2014, the Inter-American Court of Human Rights convicted the Colombian state for the disappearances. That state responsibility was acknowledged by President Juan Manuel Santos himself, when a month ago, and in front of the families, he even asked for forgiveness.
The best that the Supreme Court could have done is to respect the evidentiary material, maintain the previous sentence, and, as President Santos has himself said, if the military want their convictions to be reviewed, they can do so within the justice system for peace that had been agreed in Havana.
For Alejandra, the daughter of one of the disappeared for which Colonel Plazas Vegas was convicted in 2010, the current situation reveals that the recent acknowledgement of state responsibility by President Santos was just an act of protocol.
In regard to the acts of acknowledgement of international responsibility and reparations that have to do with plaques and monuments, the state has complied, and those are things that basically remain only on paper. But in terms of determining liabilities and clarifying the truth, the state simply falls short.
This latest ruling comes right in the same week that an agreement on truth, justice and victims has been reached in Havana, something that for many is precisely opposed to the right of the victims that the government has claimed is committed to. Natalia Margarita, Telesur, Bogotá.